So today I want to get real with you guys and talk to you about how to stop pumping for all my mamas out there. Hey everyone, it's Olivia. If you're new here or you haven't already, please give that subscribe button some love. It would be much appreciated. And also make sure to turn on that little bell so you're notified whenever new videos go live. I recently just stopped pumping and I really wanted to make this video after it was like completely said and done, so I had all my ducks in a row. When I decided to stop pumping, and I will link the video so you guys can see that decision because that was really hard for me. But when I decided to stop pumping, I looked into kind of how do you stop pumping? And a lot of articles I read kind of suggested that you basically pump less. So every time you pump less. I tried that method and it hurt. It hurt a lot, you guys. So I primarily started focusing on the times that I was pumping as opposed to the amount I was pumping. How the pain differed with the two different methods was when I pumped less, I kind of just hurt a lot all of the time because I never got that relief of being empty. As opposed to when I started focusing on getting rid of certain pumping times and letting myself be emptied all the way, it was kind of a temporary discomfort. So I'd only hurt for a short amount of time, but it wasn't all the time, and that was way better for me, especially if you're picking up kiddos, if you're holding them, if you have to give hugs. Like you ladies, you feel me. You know the pain of full boobs. Like, it's just not cool. So I drew this handy dandy little clock here. Looks god awful. To kind of give you a visual of how I started getting rid of pumping times, since I know it can kind of be like, where do you start? How do you even start doing that? So as I have here, these basically are my pumping times up here. So I pumped at 8 a.m., 1 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., and 12 a.m., so late at night. Given some people may have more than this or less, but this is just what I'm working with. I'm not a lactation consultant, so I'm just explaining to you kind of my method of going through this process. What it boils down to is you need to do what works for your body. So if this doesn't work for you, then I would go with something else. Oh, I know. I'm sorry, my baby is kicking me and being crazy. Basically how it started was these are my PM pumping times, so I'm not showing you the morning. I skipped my 1 a.m. and I went as long as I could. So that would be my tip to you. Go as long as you can without pumping. So I could go until about 4 p.m. and that's when I was like, okay, I tap out, I give up, and I needed to get the milk out. Here is my tip though. Focus on getting rid of one time at a time and let your body level out in between. Obviously with breastfeeding and with pumping, you tell your body how much to make. This is just the opposite of that. You're telling your body, don't make milk at this time. And it's going to take a few days for your body to completely be able to skip one. This is going to be a little bit of a lengthy process, so just be prepared for that. So I skipped 1 o'clock, I went to 4, the next day I could make it until about 5, but even if you're pumping at 4, still pump at your regular 6 o'clock or your 9 o'clock, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, keep those times consistent until you're ready to skip it. So eventually I get rid of the 1 p.m., I go from 8 until 6, and that's when you go to the next step. So I would see how long I could go from 8 a.m. and see if I could make it all the way to 9, which is just crazy, and no, I could not do that. That hurts. So I'd make it until 7, or I'd make it until 8, and so it would just, every day I would get a little closer to making it to 9 p.m. So obviously when I reach 6 or when I reach 9, I'm pumping a lot of milk, you guys. A lot of milk's coming out because it's built up. So that's what I mean by let your body level out, is that get back to that normal amount of milk you were making and then go to skip the next one. The last two are probably harder than the last one to get rid of. Basically, you play the game of how long can I make it. So I'd go from 8 a.m. and I would see how long I could make it. If I can make it all the way to midnight, you're probably not going to be able to. That's a long period of time. So I would pump at 8 or I would pump at 9. My tip for you is, when you do this, don't pump at the same time every night when you have that like give up moment and you need to pump, even if it's before 12. Sorry. Pump at 8 or pump at 10 or pump at 9 or 8:30, or you know what I mean? Do not relieve yourself at the same time every night, because then you're just giving your body another time to pump. So you're kind of confusing your body in a way, if that makes sense. You want to keep your body on its toes and confuse your boobs. This one is probably going to take you weeks to get through. The whole process for me probably took a month and a half, and it's going to take shorter or longer depending on your pain tolerance, honestly, and how long you can go without pumping. The last pump is pretty simple. When you go to eliminate the last pump, same game, start pumping at different times around when your last pump is. Your body's going to start getting confused. It's not going to understand when to make milk, and it's going to slowly decrease your supply. Eventually, you'll have nothing coming out at all. Real quick on what to expect when you stop pumping, because honestly, that's something I wish that I had known, so I want to share it with you guys what to expect. I'm going to be completely honest with you, it's not going to be a comfortable process. It's going to probably hurt. It's definitely going to hurt. If you do the method that I'm explaining, where you're not emptying your breasts of milk, they're gonna get really firm, really lumpy, because you're gonna have, basically clogged ducts or milk getting backed up. Bless you. I couldn't feel the pain when it started getting towards the end unless I touched them. If I ran, jumped, somebody else pushed against them, anything like that, that's when I would really feel the pain. So honestly, if you can distract yourself by doing other things, try to do that. This is gonna sound weird, but try not to stimulate your nipples at all, because you'll get a crazy letdown because your boobs are like, yes, you need me. But you don't. I had to carry the kiddos way on my side so they wouldn't touch my nipples or anything like that. That would be my suggestion there, is try to avoid any kind of stimulation to trigger a letdown. Like I said, it's gonna take probably a month to 2 months. I was naive when I originally planned on stopping pumping. I was like, oh, I'll just give myself a couple weeks. No, you're gonna need much longer than that. So just be prepared that it's gonna take time. I get asked a lot, did you get mastitis or did you get clogged ducts? And no, I did not get mastitis. Somebody's going to join us. I typically get mastitis at the beginning when I start pumping or breastfeeding. I've never gotten it when I weaned off, and maybe that's due to getting all the milk out and not trying to shorten the amount that I'm making. I don't know if maybe that leads to it. Somebody can maybe tell me. Clogged ducts, I would say yes, you kind of have to expect that. I took a lot of hot showers in between times when I wasn't pumping to maybe kind of help relieve it. So yeah, just be prepared for that. It's not going to be comfortable, but it is a process that you have to go through. If anybody is interested, I did use the Medela hand pump to exclusively pump for with my first daughter for 2 years, and with this one for about 3 months, and it's held up that entire time. So I am super impressed with the Medela hand pump, and I will link it down below, so if you guys want to get it or check it out. But that's it for this video. I hope these tips helped. Let me know if you guys have any tips that you'd like to share with other people. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. As always, you keep staying simply awesome. I'll keep staying simply Ollie, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!